Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video. Today we're going to do a top 10 cards and combos from the new World Martial Arts Tournament Power Booster. That's a mouthful. Yeah, we're getting this at the kind of towards the end of this month. It's already June, dang. But yeah, we're gonna get it's almost like a mini set. I could go on again about how much I dislike the distribution method for this mini set, but there are a lot of cool cards that make it worth it at the same time. So in a vacuum, there are a lot of cool cards. We have just about enough to make a top 10 list. I was wondering if we should do a top 5, but I kind of squeaked it in. Maybe the ones towards the beginning are a stretch, but towards the end you'll see the heavy hitters for that. But yeah, really excited for this, and let's jump on into the list. Number 10. Oki Dokie, let's start off kind of strange, weird. So alright, this is number 10, but this is only because I don't know where to put these two cards. And they're kind of thematically and, they're almost the same character too. So they're just cool, kind of like anti-meta cards, but we don't know if the meta is going to pick up, right? But both these are good. I'd say this 4-drop King Piccolo's a bit better, but so 20k double strike 4-drop. If you have 4 or more energy, you may choose 2 World Tournament cards in any battle areas, negate their skill for duration of the turn, and place them in the owner's drop area. If you do, play this card from your hand and you can't activate King Piccolo's limitless power, activate main skill for the duration of the turn. So yeah, this is a really cool card in the fact that it doesn't... This is like one of the first cards that you can like tribute on your opponent's side. So if they're playing like a bunch of World Tournament cards, then you can just have this in your side deck, and it doesn't have any, your leader doesn't have to be World Tournament. You just have to have 2 or more World Tournament cards on your opponent's side of the field. So, and they can't have barrier either. But yeah, that's really cool. It's just a free 20k on turn 4. Like that's 20k double strike too. So that's good. And yeah, great if tournament World Tournament comes out with, if it needs to be anti-meted, then there's that. And then also, you can also be your own cards. You can just like swing with some things, and then when they're in rest mode, you just put them in the drop area and get, like a 20k double strike is a kind of a last push. So I like that kind of idea. Really cool card, and it will be interesting to see how this goes. Like if people, if World Tournament stuff is really popular, this will be a really popular card too. And then there's also Piccolo Jr. Arena Record. This is a weird card, but it's definitely weird to be released in the set. But so it's permanent. If your opponent has a field card in the battle area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. And then when you play this card, you may choose 1 field card in a battle area with an energy cost of 1 or less and place it in its owner's drop area. If you do, this card gains plus 5k power for the duration of the turn. So yeah, right now field cards aren't super popular, but it's neat to know that we'll have kind of like an answer to it if they are popular. Previously, we've had things like Planet Vegeta be a cool card, and if announcer takes off, like World Martial Arts Tournament Arena, whatever it's called, that would be cool for there. What else is there? If Cooler ever takes off, there's that. It could be good if against like Planet M2. So maybe if you're running like a Kid Goku deck and you want to really get rid of that, you've got this. You have to run green though, but yeah, just a lot of interesting. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, you have to have at least one specific green. That's weird. Usually they kind of make them like specific lists or whatever. I don't know. They're just weird cards, and then Mechians, so they're awkward. So that's how that works. But really cool cards, and yeah, let's jump into the next one. Number 9. Oh boy, more green Namekians. Yeah, it can't be a coincidence by now, right? That Bandai just for whatever reason decides that Namekians can't be overpowered or have to be like encumbered by just effects and bad things. So here they are for this one. So we've got Kami the Ethereal Technique. And also a little bit of Heroes with Food, but I don't know how to judge this card. It's really, I don't know. I'm not sure how to say it, but let's talk about Kami first. So it's active main for 4 specific green. If your leader card is a World Tournament card and you have 5 or more energy, that's super steep for a condition, especially when to get this guy out. Normally you have to pay it for 5. But yeah, it doesn't feel like this does that much. But also, you have to choose one card in your life, place in your drop area, and then you choose Destined Conclusion hero from your deck, play on top of this card, and then shuffle your deck. And if you played a card, choose up to one Destined Conclusion Piccolo from your hand and play it. So it turbos out. You'll see for a lot of this is that there will be a lot of cards that turbo out, like the super rare combos. So the idea for this one is to have to get Hero out and Piccolo at the same time. And then Hero says when Destined Conclusion Piccolo is played from your hand, specifically from your hand, which is why Kami has that, he plays it from your hand. But if your leader card is a green World Tournament card, this card gains plus 10k power and critical for duration of the turn. Then your opponent chooses 3 cards from their hand placed in their drop area, which is great. And then you cannot place your opponent's hand in their drop area using Hero skill for duration of the turn. So really interesting. I don't know. So this is pretty restrictive that you can only do this once per turn for 3. I don't feel like that's broken. But then there's also then there's the 5-drop, so it's a big 20k crit. And when this card attacks, choose up to each of your and your opponent's battle cards and KO them. If you KO'd let's see, if you KO'd Hero as your battle card for duration of the turn, this card gets plus 10k power and triple strike, so it's a big 30k triple strike crit. Which is interesting, but like I don't know. If you get to turn 5 and your opponent's not like at 3 or less life, you're in a bad place already. And so I don't feel like having crit like on a big 5-drop like this, like crit triple strike on a 5-drop, I don't feel like it really does anything. Just because you're probably going to be winning with triple strike anyways, but it just seems really weird. It seems kind of awkward. It doesn't feel like this Piccolo really does. I mean, it's just a big beat stick. The Hero's really what does everything, but you can't stack their effects, which I don't know. I don't know if they'd be broken if not, but just the fact that you have to even do so much, like, sure, 4 specific green kind of makes sense because you have to also have a green World Martial Arts Tournament leader for Hero, but mostly the other cards you see, they won't be this steep in energy cost, and it really just says, oh, you better just be playing only green World Martial Arts cards because otherwise you can't be able to use this, right? Which I think is dumb because even the Kami is a 1-drop for green, so it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I guess it's okay. I wish. At the same time, if it wasn't over, if it didn't have too many stipulations, maybe it'd be broken. But right now, it doesn't seem very playable with all those things. And then there's also Hero's Mafuba. This is a really neat card. I just wish that there was like a better like God card to kind of have out for this. So you negate the attack if there's a green God card in play in your battle area. Place this card top of the attacking card at the end of your next turn. Place this card, only this card in the owner's drop, and then it's just Mafuba, but it's for 1 green instead of 2 blue, and you have to have a green God. So really, it seems interesting. You can also like this would be good against green Broly because like the 6 and 8 drop says you can't use a counter with 2 or more, so this gets around it. Like the only like God I could think about adding to this would be let's see, God. There's a 2-drop Zamasu. Let's see, where's he? Yeah, this guy. So it's a blocker, indestructible barrier, and then yeah. So this card's good just because of that. So you can just have this guy sit out there from turn 2, use as an emergency blocker when you need to. And then you can always use Hero's Mafuba, so not like the worst, but definitely not the best. But it is a green God, and that's like the one thing I could think of. There's also like these Trusting Relationship Popo and also Kami, but I just feel like you're using like a lot of energy to get these kind of poppable guys out there. So is there like a Whis? I thought there's like a 2. Let me see. There's like a 2-drop Whis. That's just. This is super combo. Is that it? There can't be. I swear there's like a green. Maybe it's yellow. Maybe it's yellow. We're getting off topic. It's cool. It's a cool card. I just don't think there's a card. There's not enough like gods that are green to take advantage of it right now. But it's something to keep in mind in the future. So let's jump into number 8.
Number 8.
Did I say number 8? I meant number 1, because that is what Hercule is. He is number 1. Yeah, so this is a really interesting card. It actually got a little bit better the more I looked into it, but yeah, so if your leader card is a World Tournament card, you choose 1 World Tournament card in your hand, place in your drop area. If you do so, choose up to 2 red World Tournament cards with different names and energy costs of 3 or less from your deck and play them and shuffle your deck. So looking at this card, the immediate thing that comes to mind is that you've got these tiny rival Trunks and Goten that you can just play for free, I guess. Like, not super free, but just being able to get both these out at the same time is great. And then you have like a double strike crit Trunks and then a double strike barrier Goten, and you can just go from there. So just put a lot of pressure on your opponent. Yeah, so we can, and if you have like the if you're running announcer, you have to run red, but just the fact that you're able to like give them the boost to the tournament arena as well, that can be really good. So yeah, that's what immediately came to mind. But there's some other kind of like niche combos you could do. So looking at all these other cards, so you could just get like the Secret Treaty Hercule and Android 18. So what these can do is that they let you draw 2. And then also you can combo with Hercule while it's in rest mode. So interesting there. It's kind of like the Martial Meisters, but if you're playing it off I'm number 1, you're losing, what, 2 cards and 3 energy, but you're playing these from your deck. So you get 2 cards back, and then you get to draw 2 more, kind of. The math is weird, but you can kind of get some advantage. With Hercule, you don't really care about that as much since you draw so much anyways, but that can be helpful. You can also get super combos, which is nice. That can be kind of helpful for that. What else? Do you have to have a red? Yeah, okay, you do have to be a World Tournament leader. There's also the 2 new cards that came out of the Power Booster as well. So there's this Vegeta Unyielding Temperament. So it has crit when this card is KO'd or placed in a drop area by a battle area by an opponent's skill. Choose up to 1 red battle card with energy cost equal to 2 or less from your hand. And play it with its skills engaged for the duration of the turn. That seems kind of weird. There's not like a lot of synergy. It's just the fact that it's a crit. That can be really helpful. So if you want to get like a lot of pressure, you can just get this guy and Trunks off I'm number 1, and then you have like 2 crits that are coming in. You can also do it with like Poi Poi, but I mean, you would probably be running Vegeta no matter what. What else? And then I think that's about it. And there's Yukon, I guess. Whenever your opponent attacks with one of their cards, place 1 card from the top of your deck under this card. If there are 5 or more cards under this card, place this card in your drop area. Okay, so you can get it to a big 30k. That's neat, I guess. But and then also, you can also get Kai, which can be helpful for just getting just a double strike combo piece. You have to have another energy open for it, but yeah, it's just really useful for that. So. Oh, and also the heroic duos. I don't think you'd really use these ones as much, but being able to just have heroic duo Son Gohan out and just pop something for free, I guess, can be helpful as well. But not the best combo pieces. And then this can also just you got like 2 10Ks. Tiny Rivals are probably the best, but it's neat to have a little bit more flexibility when it comes to this card. So that's it for that, and let's jump on to number 7.
Number 7.
Oh, okay, finally, just a single card so I don't get all rambly. So we've got Mr. Boo the Mischievous. I just kind of, this isn't anything new. It's just that Blue has their own version of the counterattack. Play this card for free. For whatever reason, Blue's has just more synergy, I guess. So, or not synergy, but just has like more things it can do. So when you play this card, if your opponent has 2 or less energy, your opponent can attack with battle cards with energy cost of 2 or less unless they choose for duration of the turn, unless they choose 1 card from their hand and place it on top of their deck. So yeah, not like a big deal, but I could see this being good for like a Harudagarn hand control, and just the fact that it's something that can never be truly dead in your hand. It can always be comboed away and that kind of stuff. So just a cool card. It is Mr. Boo. It's not Boo outright, so he can't just you can't evolve it into like the Red Boo or anything like that. It's Mr. Boo. That's the name. So there's that, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just a really, we've always seen these cards like the Yellow Roshi and also like the Red Videl, which came out, and just the world, like the announcer that does it as well is cool. But just something neat for blue to have. Now it has access to it if you need it. And yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Number 6.
All right, now we're cooking. Now we've got like a slightly better like duo combo. So to cards on the table, I haven't really played with this one as much as the other ones, but in theory, it makes a lot of sense. So the idea is with this new Bobbity the Mastermind, auto when you play this card, if your leader card's a world tournament, it's not only red either, so you could be playing like with announcer or something as well. But and you have 4 more energy. You may choose 1 card from your hand and place it on top of your deck. If you do so, choose up to 1 Supreme Showdown Vegeta from your deck, play it, then shuffle your deck. And then when this card is placed in the drop area by a skill, choose all of your red world tournament cards and they can't be KO'd for the duration of the turn. So this is great in a lot of senses, and so you're able to so you get the Vegeta for free. So Vegeta is a big 25k triple strike permanent. If Supreme Showdown and Son Goku is in play in your battle area, this card gains plus 10k power. And then when this card, when you play this card, if your leader card's a if your leader card's a world tournament, you may choose one of your battle cards other than this card placed in your drop area. If you do so, your opponent can activate blocker for duration of the turn. So that's good, and so, you know, obviously you would just, like, Bobbity would be something you could do, and then from there, so your Vegeta and your Goku can't be KO'd, which is a nice thing to have, not, like, the most relevant, but you can't get Shugeshed, I guess. And then, this is the same thing as Supreme Showdown Vegeta is in play in your battle area, this gains plus 10k power, and when your battle cards are placed in the drop area with Supreme Showdown's Vegeta skill and your leader cards of World Tournament, activate the skill. If there are no Son Goku in your if there are no Son Goku in your battle area, you may play this card from your hand. So yeah, but you just get like these big 35k triple strikes. You get 2 of them out, which is a little absurd. And you can just apply a lot of pressure. They can't be KO'd. So if you're playing even on like green Broly, you don't have to be afraid of that, which is great. And just a bunch of other things. So good cards, and it's just a really good solid win condition, which surprisingly some decks really don't have. So it's nice to see that Red World Tournament has an option now, like a stronger option, a more consistent option.
Number 5.
All right, we saw Goku and Vegeta Sr., but let's look at their Junior archetype. So. These cards are really neat, especially this Vegeta Jr. But let's just jump into it. So, Vegeta Jr. is this 4K, or not 4K, a 4-drop crit with an active main. If your leader card is a World Tournament, place this card from your hand at the bottom of your deck, and then draw 1 card. That's crazy. That's a crazy effect. This makes so many World Tournament cards. Like you can run this card with anything, and worst case, it's just free cycle. You just literally made your deck 4 cards smaller just by running this deck or this card. It's not a once per turn either. You just have to have a World Tournament card. And if you ever want to like splash blue into your deck, then this makes it a lot easier too. So that's just like with 2 effects of this guy, not even like the main thing. Just this active main is absurd for a card. We haven't seen anything like it in this game yet, but it's just going to be a big consistency magnet. So there's that, and then also auto once per turn when this card is switched to active mode by Son Goku Jr. Heroic successor skill, choose up to one of your heroic Son Goku, heroic successor in rest mode in your battle area and switch it to active mode. And then there's also Son Goku Jr. So double strike auto. When you play this card, if your leader card is a World Tournament, you can look up to 1 card from the bottom of your deck, choose up to 1 Vegeta Jr. heroic successor from it, play it, then shuffle your deck. And then active main once per turn, choose 1 Vegeta Jr. heroic successor in rest mode in your battle area, switch it to active mode. At the end of your turns, choose up to 1 of your energy and switch it to active mode. Alright, all that aside, so the sequence of plays is use his effect, put him on the bottom of your deck, draw 1. Play Son Goku Jr. for 4. Activate his effect to get Vegeta out for free. Swing with Goku. Or swing with either of them, really. It doesn't really matter, right? Because it's when... Yeah. So swing with both of them. Put them both in rest mode. Then use his effect to choose it in rest mode. Switch both these back into active mode. And so you've got another set of attacks. And then also... and then this switches the other one back. So essentially they have dual attack as long as they're both out, which is a really convoluted way to say it, but It's really powerful, especially if you put it in conjunction with Announcer. So you can use World Tournament Arena, give them both plus 5k, and then you can also use Announcer's like Active Main on his Awakened side to give them both another 5k. So they're both 29k dual strike crit with one of them and double strike with the other. Great for putting pressure, and just seems like a really solid combo. So I'll be interested to see how it if people use this, but I really do think this can be used for a lot of advantage. In worst case, just run Vegeta Jr. Like, it's just, if you want more cycle in your deck, then boom, bam, you got hit. And Splashing Blue is always good with a bunch of these other cards that you'll see in a minute.
Number 4.
All right, next up we've got Mutaito. I think that's how you say it. Skill of a Sage. This also falls in the category of, like, this could have been printed in a bunch of things, but they decided to put it in this guy, which really sucks because it has a lot of, meta reasons to run this, but it's just a really exclusive nonsense set. So good luck scrambling to get 2 to 4 of these guys. So what's it do? So it's a counterplay, play this card, and then so when your opponent plays a card, you can counter by playing this, and then auto, when you play this card, if it's your opponent's turn, you may place this card in its owner's drop area. If you do, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy costs greater than their energy, ignoring barrier, switch it to rest mode, and that card can't be switched to active mode until the start of your next turn. So essentially what all that means is that it's a Crusher Ball that gets around Deflect, and it's on a battle card, which is better because you can use it for a combo at worst cost. And also it has the World Tournament tag, so you can also just find this with a bunch of World Tournament stuff. So a really good card that also has no restriction to World Tournament or to the color of yellow besides just having to play it. So super flexible, and yeah, it has a lot of things going for it. Cheating out big guys is kind of the name of the game right now. So like Height of Mastery, that's the idea. Or with like Green Broly, that's the good idea too. Even with like just big overwhelm boys, you can just, like, if your opponent tries to play like the 5-drop Demigra, you can just play this card for free, or for 1, and then just put in rest for the turn. So really, really good card in that sense. And Height of Mastery is something that a lot of people are kind of, I think they're ready for this to kind of hit the door. With Path of Greatness is another obnoxious thing, but yeah, being able to get around Deflect is great. How the timing will work is that so it's at auto speed. I guess I don't know if speed's the right word, but so your opponent plays Height of Mastery. You will play Mutaito. Your opponent gets to activate their auto to put things in rest, and then you can use Skill of a Sage to put it in rest mode. So unfortunately, so there are still things that get around it. So for example, if you're playing against like Victory Strike Broly, they put this in rest, and then you can evolve it into Goku Victory Strike, and then you can just untap it with your Broly leader because it's a different battle card. I think that's how it works, but still it's an annoyance. But also, even though it's an auto that puts it in rest, if they play minus Killy Zone, yeah, you just send 3 cards from the drop to your warp, draw 1 card, and your opponent may not activate counterplay skills for the duration of the turn. So even you can't activate this card even though it's the auto. So it gets around Deflect, but not minus Killy Zone. It's really particular. It's a really particular card, but I can see it being used in a lot of kind of like control-y anti-meta strategies. So neat card. Wish I could just get it for $5.
Number 3.
All right, talking about more yellow good cards, we've got like half the other ones. All the yellow cards are good except for that Chiaotzu. That Chiaotzu doesn't really... It's a really weird card. I don't know why they made it. It seems really bad, to be honest. But because like I think the only thing you can do is you can get a 4-drop TN out on turn 3, but that doesn't seem really good. But anyways, they got this unyielding Victory Son Goku, and instead of just kind of having like one card to do it, they kind of have like this kind of like this lore story, which I think is really cool, but it's also very powerful in the sense that you're able to we'll just talk about it. We'll just go through it. So first we've got Master Roshi Martial Master. So when you play this card, choose 1 card in your life, add to your hand. Boom, already just a good card. Like that's like half a Bardock. And it's only a 4K, so it's not like you can like swing and you can't swap or anything. But just being able to just pay one and get get a card from your life without having to like attack or worry about anything like that is pretty good. And then also active main for one, you choose another card in your life, add it to your hand, then choose up to one moon destroying Kamehameha from your deck, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck, then negate the skill for duration of the game. So yeah, just being able to awaken 2 with 2 energy with 1 card is pretty good. There is, I don't know, like using 2 to awaken, I think is like the magic number. And because your opponent's probably going to attack you once or twice, if they're putting any pressure on you. So just being able to, start with 6 life essentially can help you out a lot in just getting awakened. Jackie Chun is probably also one of the better awakened leaders in this set. So just the fact that you're able to become a 20k when it attacks, and also your opponent can't combo when you're attacking a battle card, which can just help a lot. They can still play battle cards, so they can still beam things and it gets around it. But yeah, it's a really cool effect, and just really you want to be awakened because of it. So good from there. And then so Moon Destroying Kamehameha. What this card does is if your leader card is Jackie Chun, you gain plus 15k power for duration of the battle, and then you may choose one of your battle cards in rest mode, placing the owner's drop area, and if you do so, draw 1 card. So we've got so why does that happen? Why do you want to blow up one of your cards? So we've got Son Goku Savage Grade 8. So active main for 1 yellow. If there are a total of 2 or more World Tournament cards in play in all battle areas, play this card from your hand, and you can't play another one for duration of the turn. This is one of these cards that just get better when in a World Tournament meta, because you don't even have to be the ones who summon these guys, right? You could have played like Master Roshi turn 1. They could have played like an announcer or something, and then boom, on turn 2 you can just play this guy for 1 energy, a big 20k for 1 energy. And then also it has another thing where when this card is removed from a battle area by a skill, if you have 4 or more cards in your energy, you may choose 2 cards from your hand, place them in your drop area, then choose 1 of your yellow energy, switch it to rest mode. That's very convoluted to say it, but and then if you did both, choose up to 1 Unyielding Victory Son Goku and 1 Unyielding Victory Jackie Chun from your deck, play them, and then shuffle your deck. The fact that you can just play them from your deck is also absurd, because most of these other ones, and it's due to the original card saying you have to play one of them from your hand, but it's just great, and you don't lose any card advantage inherently. Of course, I think they compensate by having you have to pitch 2 cards from your hand, but the sense that you just have to make sure they stay in your deck, that's already leaks better than the alternative. So there's that. And then with these Jackie Chun and Son Goku do, so Jackie Chun's a barrier blocker. At the end of your turn, choose 1 Unyielding Unyielding Victory Son Goku in your battle area and KO it. If you KO'd it, choose this card and 1 of your energy and switch to the active mode. And then this says barrier, and it can get, let's see, choose 1 of your Unyielding Victory Jackie Chun in your battle area, switch to rest mode. If you do, and your leader's a yellow World Tournament, for duration of the turn, this card gains plus 5k power, double strike, and triple attack. So it can do 6 damage all by himself, which is great. And from there, yeah, a double strike, triple attack just does a lot. And then you can pop him to get a blocker barrier and also 1 of your energy back. So a lot of flexibility there. You can get to go deep without having to be super afraid of dying next turn, because you still have like a barrier blocker up and an energy for defense as well. So great thing. Also, fun fact, both these guys are both Son Gokus, so if you want to run Android 8 with these guys, you can. And so if they get popped, let me make sure the ruling on that is correct. I'm going to make sure on the air. Let's see, when is KO'd by opponent's skill or leaves a battle area, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Yeah, so you can just have like Android 8 chilling on the board, and then either these Gokus pop by any of their effects, your own effects included. You just get to pop 1 of your opponent's cards. So yeah, which is a great thing for Moon Destroying Kamehameha as well. So you just have this sitting in your hand, your opponent attacks with something, maybe goes all in, and then you can just pop your, I guess you can combo with, I don't know, it's not going to be a super big surprise, but it's just just more absurdity you can do with those kind of things. And then also, since this is Son Goku Childhood as well, you can play I'm the World Champion and draw 2 cards for 1 energy as well. So a lot of just good synergy with a lot of things, and I'll be interested to see what the most optimized build of this guy is. So let's go on to number 2.
Number 2.
All right, for number 2, we've got these this Proudest family kind of group. So the new card we get is Videl Proudest Mother. So if your leader card is a World Tournament card and you don't have any battle cards in play in your battle area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. And when you play this card, choose up to 1 Hercule Proudest Grandpa from your hand and play it. And then at the end of your turn, you may place this card on top of its owner's deck. And if you do so, choose up to 1 Pan Proudest Daughter from your deck and play it, then shuffle your deck. So what you can do with this is you just get these guys out on turn 2, which is crazy. Especially since Hercule draws 2 and untaps 1 of your energy. And then Pan is just this big old dual attack 25k double strike. And just being able to have a bunch of these out can really accelerate your game plan. So nice there. And also you can just have like another one of these out. Like you can just do another time. And these Hercules stack too. So if you have 2 Hercules out and you play 1 Pan, you get to draw 4 and untap 2, which is an absurd amount of cards and untapping. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this will all pair up. But it's a really simple combo. Pan only gets the boost if you have a blue leader, so that's the only unfortunate thing I can think about. If this was like any world tournament leader, that would be crazy. But I think all the super rare ones are restricted to their respective colors, so that makes sense to me. But even if this was just like an announcer, you get to play. If you go this into Hercule, you get to draw 3 cards with announcer's effect, untap 1. And you still have this big dual attack Pan that you can give your World Tournament 5k for free, and so it's now dual attack 20k for duration of turn. I can just see like a bunch of things happening, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens. But out of the gate, this seems like a really powerful combo, and yeah, I expect to see a lot of this, assuming you can get all 4 Pans, or not Pans, Videls. Videls, they're going to be hard to get.
Number 1.
And for number 1, we've got this really goofy looking Dende. This card shouldn't exist in my opinion. It is really, really good for no good reason. So when you play this card, choose 1 World Tournament card from your 1 World Tournament card with energy cost 5 or less from your deck, send it to your warp, shuffle your deck, and at the start of your next turn, add that card sent to your warp by this go to your hand from the warp. Just being able to in an archetype where you have to have 2 specific cards most of the time, being able to just search for 1 for 1 energy with a delay of 1 turn is great for consistency. I don't know why he's blue instead of black. I feel like if this card was black instead of blue, it would be 100% a mistake. With blue, you kind of have to like have do some blue stuff, but that's not all. Like if that first effect was the only thing, this card would be good already. But also active main for 2. If your leader card is a World Tournament card and you place this card in its owner's drop area, choose to 1 World Tournament card with energy cost 3 or less from your hand, send it to your warp. At the start of your next turn, play that card sent to the warp by this go from your warp. Whew. So what this also does is that it really sets up a lot of your combo cards. Because a lot of times you'd have to play 1 and then you kind of hope it survives and then play the next card on the other turn. This lets you just play it for 2. And so if you look at the energy you sunk in, you play 1 for Dende, and if you have to play 2 to play its activate main, you're still getting a 3 cost out for 3, but you also were able to split it across a couple of turns and also get a card for free from your deck as well. So a lot of things are going for it. You could just like search super combos with this guy, because all your super combos are that you can get like Kai. I think having to wait a turn is a little bit of a balancing factor, but if you just see this on like turn 1 or 2, you can just get whatever card you're missing and then start exploding on turn 3 or 4. So great for consistency. I think this card is going to be pretty expensive. Hopefully this card doesn't flop and I'm just like embarrassed about it, but if World Martial Arts stuff is powerful, this is going to be one of the staples of any of your decks that can afford to run blue. And as I went to earlier, like it's doesn't cost anything to run blue, you know, you always want to run Bean, right? Bean's like one of like the staple cards for blue decks, but you also have like Vegeta Jr. that you can just have in your deck, and like even if you don't need to run, you know, have charged blue energy, it can be comboed, but you can also just put it in your bottom of your deck and just replace it for free. So a lot of crazy things, and I think this will be just a staple for any World Martial Art Tournament decks. But that should be it for me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I got wrong. Let me know what I got right. I'm probably putting a little bit too much energy in this Dende being at spot number 1. If you think something else deserves to be at number 1, let me know what it is, and I'll catch you all next time.